Without knowledge, no experience of any kind is possible. You cannot separate knowledge from experience. By Yuji Krishnamurti. Hello everyone, this is author PB Flower. Welcome to the 6th episode of my podcast. Today's topic for discussion is experience. According to Advaita Vedanta, I have written in my series, all Kaal None, it has happened. The only thing to do is to experience it. I've also attached it to how we perceive time. If an event is yet to be experienced, then it is your future. There is another discussion in my story between Eklavya and Zenith, where he is telling her that it is meant for you to experience it. The physical form does not mean something is real. Now, Yuji has said that anything you experience based on thought is an illusion. So let's read an excerpt from my series, All Kaal None, to understand this. Now, in this excerpt, of course, the characters are Zenith and Eklavya that we are very familiar with. Zenith is asking Eklavya, what is middle way? Eklavya responds, it is what humans theorize as wormhole. So Zenith says, so like a passage? Eklavya responds to that. Well, conceptually, it is like a passage, but it is an open frequency. Anyone can flip to anywhere because everything is an illusion. It is all about the experience. If you get stuck in physicality, then you can never understand this. So from this excerpt, I am conveying that experience is nothing but memory. And this excerpt also pulls into the metaphysical aspect of it. Very clever, suggesting that maybe we need to separate ourselves from our physical body, and then the illusion of this world constructed around us by feeding memory will be better understood. But we know how humans are stuck with physicality. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He's trying to adventure into space, create a human colony on another planet that is not even actually habitable by human as is. So now I have another theory with experience in my book that points it to knowledge, so that we can connect it to what Yuji said, where you cannot separate experience from knowledge. So let's read that excerpt and tie it in with today's discussion topic. The excerpt again is with the characters Zenith and Eklavya. Zenith actually didn't like what Eklavya had answered or said to her. That's the premise. So she's saying, so what are you saying? That science is useless? So to that, Eklavya is responding by saying, what I'm saying is science cannot create anything new. Discovery and inventions are still about what is already there. New combination and permutations of what exists. Humans are limited to their imagination. Imagination is a consequence of their knowledge and experience, hence the limitation. It is always related to what they already know. Difficult for them to witness anything beyond that. Even if they see something beyond their imagination, they will draw parallel to what they know to understand it. So there is a conundrum here with repeated experience or occurrence. You know how we have heard people saying that they cannot recreate the same high as the first time. So why is that? Because to me, once you acquire the memory of an event after experiencing it, it sets a standard for future perception. Example, if you ate something for the first time, then the second time it is nothing but your memory dictating that experience or how you should react to it, which is from the knowledge that you acquired, like Yuji said. So the first time will always be the only one. Okay, so it's a one-time event. Even that first time was an idea that was fed to you because it already existed. So as I said in my excerpt, that it is difficult for us to experience anything beyond what we already know, as our understanding is based on comparison and drawing parallels to what we have stored as knowledge from previous memory. So let's take another excerpt where, again, it is Ekalavya telling something to Zenith. He's saying, humans are running in error mode, like a nuclear explosion, fission, loop of learning, canceling, and rebuilding, a constant need to improve, a constant need for new stimulation. They are never satisfied. Your taste buds, visual, and other senses are all numb. They are enhancing everything around them to feel that high again, only to get immune to it sooner than a tasty new thing can come along. I am working on the reset button, AI, to expedite destruction, then restore the natural order. So Zenith is saying, how will AI expedite destruction? So Zenith's Ekalavya responds to that by saying, AI will make bodily presence redundant, making humans redundant because they are all about physicality, experience. Virtual reality will replace the natural order, for one cannot be in natural state and also experience the memory, eliminating the conflict. So what Ekalavya said here is pretty elaborate here, and we'll have to look into each and everything that he said. Now, when he's saying AI, he's referring to obviously artificial intelligence here. And so the natural state, like he said, that for one cannot be in a natural state and also experience the memory. So I think I mentioned the natural state in my previous podcast, where it is the natural state is without you being infected by thoughts. And so when you are not infected by thoughts, you're not fed new memories or old memories or repeat memories, and you're not storing it as experiences. So establishing it as knowledge and then comparing everything after that against it. So you don't do all that. So when you are in your natural state, you cannot experience the memory. Okay, so that's what he's trying to say, and I think that is what makes it redundant, because that is what forces us to get a new high as we get bored, because we keep comparing it to our previous experience by retrieving that knowledge or that memory, and our knowledge then dictates the experience or the subsequent experience, numbing our senses to feel it as it might have been the first time around. Let's read another excerpt which will very beautifully tie into this one. And this is with the character Asher. Now Asher is Ekalavya existing in a parallel timeline. And he is in love with a girl named Shamli. So he is explaining this to Shamli by saying, humans are the only species that crave for fun, but constant stimulus numbs the natural state. After the first experience, it is a reaction from built memory, making every subsequent encounter boring. They are compelled to move over to another stimulation, increasing dosage. Outward projection can never bring inward peace. They need isolation to close the distance and delete the split. So it is actually, whatever he has said is, or the way we lead our life as humans, is very similar to drug addiction. All of these, big companies or small companies, or even as an individual, we set new goals every day, or these companies set new goals every quarter, and then it's all because we need to go further, okay, just to get new high. because just to arrive somewhere. But we never say that we have arrived, because every time we get there, wherever we had set to do goals for, we need to go further. 'Cause it's never enough. We never get that high. So we keep moving forward, because it is all an outer projection to do something outside of our physicality, to feel different on the inside. Like an adventure seeker, they want to increase their threshold each time because they get bored. It gets redundant. And so, like a bungee jumper would say, I want to jump from a higher height this time to feel what I felt before when I jumped from a lower height. So it's just impossible for you to recreate that first time experience, that first time high. It's just not going to happen. And I also mentioned where Asher said closing the distance and deleting the split. So the two things are actually in relation to nature, where closing the distance is with the nature and deleting the split is becoming one with nature. Because right now we are so far away from nature. We can go on camping adventures, we can do mountaineering or whatever, we can do rafting, all of these things in nature, but then we are doing it with boost, because we are, as humans, not meant to experience all that way, but we want to. So that's not closing the distance. Okay, that's not the distance closing that I'm talking about, because you're not one with nature there, because you do come back to luxuries of life, or you're doing it with the boost, like I said. So once you exist in nature as it was intended to be, you will actually not want to experience a new high. And because you are going to be in your native state. The native state is the one that is not infected by thoughts. It's without the accumulation of experience as knowledge. And then the only thing that you will do is react for survival and reproduce to move forward.